So people, people love in combat sports to talk about the longevity of some fighters because in a sport where you're constantly hitting, kicking, getting choked out, having arms and limbs torn apart, there's not many people who can keep doing that consistently for many years. But there is one fighter who puts Alexei Olenek to shame when it comes to his durability for how long he's been fighting and his longevity. And that man is Mashiro Oishi. He's been fighting professionally since November 1993, where he fought Yuriaki Morai on Shuto Sakuda versus Paulson, and his latest fight was against Taku Suita on Fighting Nexus Volume 31 on May 21st, 2023. The fact that anyone can keep that longevity for so long is like generally insane. This man's 54 years old. He was born in 1968, and he's literally been fighting every single calendar year. Not a single. Let me just explain this. Let me just count this, just so I'm making sure there is no mistakes here. Which, to the best of my knowledge, there is not. He fought, like I mentioned, in 1993. In 1994, he fought at Shuto Value Tudo Access 1. Then he fought on Shuto Tio. Oh my god, my pronunciations. Tokyo Free Fight, 1995. Shuto Valley Tudo Junction 2, 1996. Shuto Let's Get Lost. No, oh yeah, that's 1996 again. Shuto Gig 1997, 98, 99, 2000, 2001. Yep. So anyway, that would be a bit repetitive if I counted all the way up to 2023. I don't think people want to hear that in this video. But I want to talk about how he's managed to maintain this longevity. You're probably thinking, wow, this guy must be like some sort of beast, like this guy, he's probably just losing all his fights. He's either a beast or he's just losing all of these fights. He has lost a lot. There's no denying that. But his last win was in 2021. That would have been when he was 50, 52, 53 years old. He was 52, yeah. So he was 52 years old, and he fought a 43-year-old, which that sort of gives away what I was going to mention. But so the reason he's able to maintain this longevity, a lot of also is his schedule. This guy isn't fighting 5 times every year. He hasn't been. I will add, he hasn't been fighting like 10 times every year for 30 years. But he's made sure to have a fight at least every calendar year, and he's not doing this. I haven't watched all of his fights, but from what I've seen, he just loves to compete, and he's realistic about how he competes. He's not going in there and fighting, up and coming fucking 19-year-old Japanese phenoms or anything like that. Like, from the best of my knowledge, Tatsuro Taira is not on his record because this guy's a bantamweight. But yeah, no Tatsuro Taira. I don't see him. Like, he's not going out there and he's not fighting the young guns. It seems like he's just fighting older guys, which is smart. That's what people should do. I feel like here's this guy, Yongjae O, 52 years old. I feel like this is the way to go. If you're going to keep competing into your older age, why not just fight another old guy, like another older man? It would make sense. You could actually, because I know a lot of these guys, they always have the urge to compete, even when they're much older. Well, I think they should just compete against older guys. Like, and he's a grappler as well, so it's not like he's going in there and he's knocking all these old guys out. He's a grappling-based fighter. And I feel like it would, most people would just say, well, just don't fight. They shouldn't fight. They should know when to stop. But for some guys, this is all they know is fighting, and they just love to compete. They're not doing it for money. It's not a cash grab to them. This is like just something they enjoy doing, which is the case for Mashiro Oishi. He just loves to fight. He's not in it for the money. If he was, he would be fighting more actively. Like I say, only once in 2023, once in 2022. Actually, he fought twice in 2022. He was actually very active that year. But most of the time, he only fights once a year. 2018, he fought twice. 2017, twice. So yeah, I guess he'll either fight once a year or twice a year, but still, getting on to my main point, like, a lot of these guys want to keep competing, and instead of going in there and watching You know, them go in there and get brutally knocked out cold by like a guy, you know, twice as young as them, some young up and comer, full of testosterone, just ready to kill. I think it would be much better if you just let these older guys compete against each other. It would make a lot more sense. It would be a lot healthier for these guys, like, because a lot of these guys are going to compete whether you like it or not. They're going to go in there and they're going to go and fight. You know, God knows who. They'll keep fighting. And instead of like letting them go in there and take a bunch of damage from younger guys, why don't you let them have competitive fights against guys their own age? Like I feel like that would be the best thing to go. Like obviously you got exceptions like Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz, where you know even then I'm pretty sure Chuck Liddell was a bit older than Chuck Liddell. I think that's the case, right? Could be wrong on that actually, but uh, yeah. So Chuck Liddell was way older. That was obviously unfair because he's literally like 5 years older, and Tito Ortiz was competing the whole time. That was a horrible mismatch. That fight shouldn't have ever happened. Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz free. Shit, stupid fight. I'm not suggesting we see a bunch of these fights. I'm saying you get somebody if they want to keep fighting, and instead of letting them go in there and we see a Chuck Liddell Tito Ortiz situation. Why don't you let two legends who are in their 50s just go fight? Like, if they're going to keep fighting, which they will, we all know that there's no stopping them. Just let them go and sort it out themselves, you know? Just let them go in there and fight each other. We don't have to worry about them going in there and getting brutally knocked out and you know it being a bit of a mismatch and tarnishing their legacies. They're just going in there, they're having fun, you know. You can't stop them from having like competitive edge and that, you know. And a lot of these fighters they enjoy fighting, so instead of having to watch them get brutally knocked out by some young up and comer, just let them go in there and fight against a guy their own age. I feel like that's always been the way to go. Like Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. That was an exhibition, but that was cool to see. You know, obviously they weren't in their primes, but it was better than going in there and you go and put Mike Tyson in there against like a fucking Deontay Wilder or somebody who's going to go in there and knock him out. You know that's just not smart. But you go and let these legend bouts happen when the guys are like relatively the same age. You know, obviously when one of them's 43 and still fighting and the other one's coming out of retirement at like 48, then no, you don't do that. But I don't know. I guess I'm waffling on a little bit here, but I just feel like Mashiri Oisha has a really like he's been smart about his career. He's not under any delusions that he's going to go in there and he's going to become a world champion or he's going to go in there and fight some young up and comer and destroy them. Like he knows he can't do that at this point in his career. Like the man's got grey hair and he's still stepping in the cage. Like Father Time's undefeated, and Mashiro he knows that, but he's not going in there and fighting younger guys. He's going in there and fighting guys his own age, even guys younger than him, and he's still winning against the guys a bit younger than him. I just think more people, if they're going to keep fighting, they need to aspire to be more like a Mashiro Oisha than like a Chuck Liddell who goes in there and gets KO'd by Tito Ortiz, or you know any case where they get like an absolutely young up and comer to go and starch some aging legend. You know, nobody wants to see that, and I think more people should learn from this guy. But yeah, honestly, great career. You think about it, like think about the state MMA was in 1993. I know I went off a little bit there, just going on a rant about what legends can do. But if you have made it this far, I do appreciate it. But yeah, like it's crazy. This guy's seen the whole evolution of MMA. Like in 1993, how old was he in 1993? He was 24 years old. You know, probably thinking, oh, I probably don't have much long to do this. Little did he know he'd be still doing it 30 years later. Hopefully, we see him in a fight next year. I do like this little trend going. I love how he's fights every year. Like it'll be sad once that trend ends, but who knows? Maybe he can push for another couple years. It's not like he's going in there, like I say, and getting brutally knocked out. He did get TKO'd in his last fight by Taku Suta, but I don't know how old this guy is or anything like that. But I'm sure he'll be back. Uh, But yeah, just a legend. He's Oh, I would say he's a forgotten legend, but like I don't know if many people know him. He did fight. I'm pretty sure he fought Hideo Tokoro. Yeah, he did. He beat Hideo Tokora, sorry, in 2005. Like Hideo. I'm so bad at pronouncing foreign names that I apologize, but Tokoro legend is in his own right, one of the first men, only man to the best of my knowledge to fight in every weight class besides light heavyweight, which is fucking batshit crazy when you think about it. Like literally every weight class from heavyweight to flyweight. Like I don't think anyone will ever replicate that again. But yeah, that's another legend. Maybe I'll make a video about him in the future. But yeah, I think that's all. That's all that needs to be said about this legend's career. There is so much more I could have dived into, but obviously to find out his whole story and everything, I'd have to learn Japanese because a lot of the information on this guy is all in Japanese, and a lot of his fights and everything a bit hard to find. I can find some of his recent ones, but yeah, if you get the time, look him up. His name's spelled Masahiro, and then his last name is Oishi. So yeah, absolute legend. Nickname is the Jackal. Fights out of Hadgain Gym, and his last fight was in Fighting Nexus. So if you find any of his videos, just give it a check. You know, like I said, legend of the game, 30 and 25 and then 9 draws. Like, that is insane. He's got more draws than some people have before they even. Like, he's got more draws than some fighters who get signed to the UFC have fights at this point. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, if you made it this far into the video, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this sort of topic. I am full of all this random MMA knowledge, and yeah, it's good to get to talk about it a bit. But if you like this style of video, make sure you give this video a like. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this guy's career, and if let me know if you have any other, maybe somebody else who's been fighting for the same amount of time. If you can, it'd be cool to find out some more knowledge like that. But yeah, if you're not already, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for listening.